Hi guys, so I'm not here, but you still have your assignment. You can watch this video and pause it as you need to, but you can also split your screens. So if you can see my mouse over here, my cursor, I should say, okay, I'm moving it. If you don't know how to split your screen, click the square right here in the middle where it says restore down. You click it once, and then if you're watching YouTube on like another tab right here, you would click and hold it and then you drag it out. Okay, put it right here. And if it opens like big, if this happens, well then just click that. To adjust it, of course, right here in the middle, the cursor turns into like two arrows. You click and hold. You can drag it out depending on how you want to size your screens. Okay, but that's your responsibility to figure out. Google it if you need to. Splitting screens. Okay. All right. So on Friday, we had gone over the text mapping, but we had finished where we did the maps, the diagrams or timelines. We outlined them in green. Okay, so we're going to continue with the underlined words, any vocabulary words that we see. Just another, again, texting. One finger moves the cursor. So if you put your finger on the mouse pad and do this, it's one finger. But if you use two fingers, it moves the slide. Okay, don't do it so fast. Do it kind of like carefully so that way, because if you keep going up, it's going to change your slide. Okay, so that's just for you to know. Okay, so let me get back to my slide. Now, mine looks different from yours, but the story that you need, if you've been out for a few days or you're just not listening, go to classwork. I'm sorry, well, go to the classroom, go to under classwork, and click everybody jump. And this is the story that we're using. So that's the one you need, slide number 1. If you didn't have all the strategies that we did, well, then tomorrow let me know and we need to catch you up so that way you don't fail this assignment part. Okay, so let's continue. Let me move myself up here. Just kidding. Okay, underline words. So I'm gonna zoom in on my keyboard. I'm using keyboard stuff. I'm gonna click Control and then Alt and then plus. I knew how to do this, I would. Okay, that's how I zoom in. Control CTRL ALT and then the little plus sign at the top. 3 buttons. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right, I'm gonna be on on paragraph number 4, right? I don't see any of your vocabularies. Okay, this is my first vocabulary word, scenario or scenario. I'm gonna grab a text box and I am going to make an outline around the word, let go. And I know that my word needs to be in a yellow, okay, because that's the color for the text mapping. If I click out of it, it still looks a little bit thin, so I'm gonna get my border weight and put it around 3px. Okay, so to save some time as well, again, on your keyboard, there's on the right side, click it, and this menu should pop up. You're gonna click copy. Okay, so, and again, that's a right click, copy. And then I'll show you what you're gonna do right now with it. I look over here, I don't see any more vocabulary words. So I need to slide over to this one right over here. I'm on my next slide. For you, it's slide number 2. Paragraph number, I don't see any vocabulary here, but I do see 2 words on paragraph number 7. So going back to the right clicking, right click, paste. And so, okay, if I zoom out, let me show you what happens. The yellow outlined box showed up on this side. So you need to grab it and just put it right over here. Okay, so I just copy and pasted. So that way I'm not spending time making a new text box, changing the color, changing the weight. Okay. You can do the same thing. You can either right click and paste again and it'll show up on this side, or you can just grab this one, right click, copy, right click, paste. So it'll show up right next to it. And I'm just gonna slide it over here to this word that Maddie told us on Friday, atoms. This is like underlined, so it's kind of giving you like a little clue. And I'm going to keep going through my story. I don't see any more bolded words on this side, so I'm going to use 2 fingers and slide over here. I'm going to slide up, and I see the word compatible on paragraph number 13. So I'm going to paste it, slide it over here, and moving it over, and I'm going to place it over the word compatible. Like this. I'm going to right click copy, so that way it doesn't show up on the other page. Right click paste. And I see the word capacity on paragraph number 14. Pause the video as needed. Watch this first. It's up to you. I don't see any other vocabulary words over here, so I'm going to move me over here. And I'm going to go to the next slide. Don't see any vocabulary except right here. Right click, paste. And okay, my box showed up over here below me. Okay, paragraph 18, coalescing. And that's it. If you click your box, you can use the arrows on your keypad, and that's probably a little bit easier. And I don't see any other vocabulary, so I'm going to go return back to my first slide. And again, I got this one done, done. My paragraphs. Now, if I zoom in, it tells me circle the paragraphs that have a specific question about them. But we kind of already did that when we were doing the outlines for like right here. So we had put question number 2, question number 3. It's mostly asking about the pictures that we see here. So honestly, we're good. Let's continue. And then we know, just a heads up again, that there's 21 paragraphs. I did make a mistake on the slides. I don't know why I didn't catch that, but paragraph 15 and 16 is also repeated here. So when we move to this one, it's just going to be paragraph 17. Okay, my mistake. Don't judge me. And then that's it. There's no stanzas because this is not a poem. Okay. All right, so let's read the story. We're not going to annotate today. We'll do it tomorrow when I'm back. But I do want you to listen to the story. So follow along. If you want to add notes, you're more than welcome to. Any thoughts that come to your mind, you go for it. Okay? But that's if you want to. So paragraph number 1. And this is from the story Everybody Jumps from What If? Paragraph 1. What would happen if everyone on Earth stood as close to each other as they could and jumped? Everyone landing on the ground at the same instant. Thomas Bennett and many others. This is one of the most popular questions submitted to this blog. It's been examined before, including by a Science Blogs post and a Straight Dope article. They cover the kinematics. Somebody look it up. Kinematics pretty well. However, they don't tell the whole story. Let's take a closer look. At the start of the scenario, the entire Earth's population has been magically transported together into one place. The crowd takes up an area the size of Rhode Island, but there's no reason to use the vague phrase, an area the size of Rhode Island. This is our scenario. We can be specific. They're actually in Rhode Island. Moving over to my next slide. Sliding over with 2 fingers on my mouse pad, and I am on paragraph number 6. At the stroke of noon, everyone jumps. As discussed elsewhere, it doesn't really affect the planet. Earth outweighs us by a factor of over 10 trillion. On average, we humans can vertically jump maybe half a meter on a good day. Even if the Earth were rigid and responded instantly, it would be pushed down by less than an atom's width, so very little. Next, everyone falls back to the ground. Technically, this delivers a lot of energy into the earth, but it's spread out over a large enough area that it doesn't do much more than leave footprints in a lot of gardens. A slight pulse of pressure spreads through the North American continental crust and dissipates with little effect. The sound of all of those feet hitting the ground creates a loud, drawn out roar which lasts many seconds, and eventually the air grows quiet. Seconds pass and everyone looks around. Paragraph 12. There are a lot of uncomfortable glances. Someone coughs. A cell phone comes out of a pocket, and within seconds, the rest of the world's 5 billion phones follow. All of them, even those compatible with the region's towers, are displaying some version of no signal. The cell networks have all collapsed under the unprecedented load. The TF Green Airport in Warwick, Rhode Island handles a few thousand passengers a day. Assuming they got things organized, including sending out scouting missions to retrieve fuel, they could run at 500% capacity for years without making a dent in the crowd. The addition of all the nearby airports doesn't change the equation much, nor does the region's light rail system. Crowds climb on board container ships in the deep water port of Providence, but stocking sufficient food and water for a long sea voyage proves a challenge. Rhode Island's 500,000 cars are commandeered. Moments later, I-95, I-195, and I-295 become the sites of the largest traffic jam in the history of the planet. Most of the cars are engulfed by the crowds, but a lucky few get out and begin wandering the abandoned road network. And this is where I made a mistake. So we're going to switch over to paragraph 17 because we just read these. Some people make it past New York or Boston before running out of fuel. Since the electricity is probably not on at this point, rather than finding a working gas pump, it's easier to just abandon the car and steal the new one. Who can stop you? All the cops are in Rhode Island. The edge of the crowd spreads outward into southern Massachusetts and Connecticut. Any two people who meet are unlikely to have a language in common, and almost nobody knows the area. The state becomes a patchwork chaos of coalescing and collapsing social hierarchies. Violence is common. Everybody is hungry and thirsty. Grocery stores are emptied. Fresh water is hard to come by, and there are no efficient systems for distributing it. Within weeks, Rhode Island is a graveyard of billions. The survivors spread out across the face of the world and struggle to build a new civilization atop the pristine ruins of the old. Our species staggers on, but our population has been greatly reduced. Earth's orbit is completely unaffected, and it spins along exactly as it did before our species-wide jump. But at least we know. Yeah, took a dark turn. Okay. So that's our story. Yay, something very happy, right? It kind of took a turn. If you didn't understand it, read it again. Read it like 2 or 3 more times, and then tomorrow we are going to analyze it a little bit more. But since we didn't take up the whole time, what I need you to do is log on to Mayan and read. I will be checking. Okay, log on through Clever. Okay, it's right here. And then just log in. All the apps that you need are there. If you're having trouble finding the PSJ one, just go straight through their website, classwork, go to Ms. Espinosa's website, click it, and then just scroll down all the way down to the links right here and click this button. This my Wi-Fi. Okay, there you go. Okay, right here. Click Clever, and it'll take you directly to the login with PSJA, right? Log in. I'm gonna be checking. Have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow. And you better have the strategies, the vocabulary words done. Simple assignment. Bye, guys. How do I stop this? Hold on. Okay, bye, guys.